it does seem that the widespread, or the wide-scale, rather, search is now being called off. So clearly this is getting quite serious.
Well, yes, indeed. You're quite right to say that it's captured. Emile's disappearance has captured the public's imagination. It's all over the French media in France. Politicians and ministers are calling the general public to keep looking out for Emile. This is clearly a terrifying story that is creating a huge amount of worry across France, but also evidently in other parts of the world, including Britain. And it doesn't matter what nationality or indeed background little Emile is. You just have to look at that picture of a beautiful little blonde boy who looks as charming as he is vulnerable. And, it's a truism to say that looking at losing someone like little Emile is clearly any adult's nightmare. Having said that, the search started soon after Emile went missing on Saturday evening. Remember, he was staying at his grandparents' house in a very rural part of the Alps. Varennes is actually a village, the village where he was in, and it only has about 20 houses. And it soon turns into thick forests. But because Emile is so small, it was thought that a rigorous search of a 3-mile perimeter would soon find him. And at one stage, there were even helicopters involved, which were playing recordings of his mother's voice in the hope that he would hear the recordings and come out of hiding. But as you said, last night, the local prosecutor, who's in charge of the investigation, called off the physical search, that is to say, the beating of the countryside involving police and indeed detectives, which effectively means that Emile has been taken out of the area. And in one sense, this is optimistic on some level, because it means that Emile could be somewhere else. But it's terrifying at the same time, because a 2-year-old would evidently need help to go anywhere else.
Indeed.
Therefore, the judicial investigation.
I was going to say, therefore, the fact that they've effectively called off that as we saw the pictures there, very widespread search operation. I mean, what are the ideas that they're looking at now? What are the theories that police are investigating?
Well, the judicial investigation is still going on. It's been opened up to inquiries further afield. The prosecutor and police are now looking at any known child abuse offenders living in the area, for example. They're looking at car movement. They're looking at phone signals and trying to pinpoint who was where at about 5 p.m. Last Saturday, Emile disappeared. And even before that, they're interviewing people to see if their testament tally. They are using phone technology known as triangulation to try to locate people using the phone. It's important to say that at this stage, there is no evidence. Nothing has been found. Not a trace of Emile has been found yet. No DNA, no hair follicle. The police found some blood on the front of a car yesterday, but it was analysed and it turned out to be animal blood. So there is still hope that Emile is alive and can be found. But there's also the terrifying fear that he may have been kidnapped.
Yes,
a 2-year-old can't get very far by himself. If he had fallen over and lay in a bush somewhere, then he probably would have been found by now by police searches, on which the week disappeared.